morning, everyone. Welcome to October 2nd. It is a gorgeous day out there. Looking around the lamp. The leaves are starting to change up on the mountains, going to bright reds and oranges and a few yellows. The aspens are yellow. I don't know what the other trees are. I think it's the scrub oak that are oranges and reds, but they're starting to change up on the mountain. There's a crispness in the air that feels good. I'm looking at Princess over here, who is doing her thing, shall we say. Yeah, she's begging for attention, and I expect she'll be trouble for the first little while here. Anyway, I have a delicious blackberry Coke with, well, it started as a vanilla Coke. Then I put some blackberry syrup in it, and now it's absolutely delicious. So I think we are going to settle in, have a nice little chat on this gorgeous October day. Got a little bit of knitting. Well, it's all knitting, to tell you the truth. And I got my makeup on just for you guys. We'll see you in a minute. Well, truthfully, it's got to be less than a minute, because I know my intro is maybe 15 seconds long, something like that. Anyway, welcome to the Pansy and Picot podcast, Craftcast, where I talk about knitting, and I used to talk about cross stitch, but I think that bug is dead and gone, and it has been for about the past 3 years, but I expect in maybe 2 more years the cross stitch will come back. Today is general conference for my church, and I enjoyed the morning session before I sat down to record with you. We heard some lovely talks on showing compassion to our neighbors, and I thought to myself that I really need to up my game and being compassionate to my neighbors and my friends and just the people I meet in my everyday life. I know I can't change the world, but at least I can change my neighborhood. Let's get started. Maybe some knitting? Always some knitting. I think when I start out that I'm going to have this wonderful and lovely discussion with you all, but then my mind goes blank and it just flitters right out the window, as it were. But there's always knitting. Shall we start with the first thing? Well, at least the thing that I've worked on the most this past month has been the Just Beachy MKAL by Lisa K. Ross. This is clue 1, but I've actually been working on clues 4 and 5, well, mini clues. And let's show the ends of clue 4 and 5. I've got them all twisted up here. It's a bit of a mess. Here we go. So this clue, we started down here with this wonderful garter stitch triangle. Added some of these, the rounded stitches are called conch stitches. She's named them. Then we move up into, I've got to change this around. This was some 1/1 cabling, little more garter, some more conch stitches. This little bit of lace she calls shark fins. It could also be sailboat sails. I love this lace that's in the clues. They call it the sand dollar lace. I think it's technically horseshoe, but it's beautiful, really quite fun to knit. And then last little bit is a section of lace termed seagull lace, and it looks like it's super similar to the lace that she uses in her ice cream social. Super similar, not quite the same. I think, well, I'll show you that in a second when I show you the first piece. Anyway, so I have knit this entire section since the last time I saw you. I have 4 more rows to go on the seagull lace before I am completely done with it. It's, well, completely done with clue 5. Yep, this is clues 4 and 5. And let's see, put those over here out of the way, and then I'll show you what I finished up with for clue number 1, 2, and 3 is this section. And I made a mistake, you guys. Okay, turn this around. So last time I showed you, I'd started with this lovely triangle down here in stockinette, conch stitches, some 1x1 twisted rib. There you go, 1x1 twisted rib, conch stitches, and up here where this little ghost was is where last time that was all there. So after that I did some beautiful lace here, and this, I think, let me look at it stretched out. Yeah, I think this might be the lace that comprises most of the all of the lace in the Ice Cream Social. More of these wonderful little sand dollars. Some lace that is starfish. Maybe it's the starfish. Maybe it's the starfish lace that looks a lot like the Ice Cream Social lace. I'm getting confused because I looked it up on my pattern for Ice Cream Social to see what lace it was and noticed that it was the same as one of these, but it's been a couple weeks since I've actually handled these, so I don't precisely remember, and I should remember. Or maybe I just shouldn't bring it up at all. But anyway, there's this cute little lace, more sand dollars, and then in an interesting twist, what did we do? We started here, so you can see that half of my triangle is on hold on needles, and then for clue 6 we knit several bits of lace. Here are some seagull laces again, and then our sharks again, and they called this pebble stitches, but it's really just seed stitch. But the problem is this is supposed to be even lighter than this, so I was supposed to go lightest, and instead I went back in, so it's a mirror image of what we have going down here and back out. So I did it wrong, and I'm all out, well, practically out of these colors. So depending upon what's called for here, I'm definitely going to have to make some substitutions. When I had originally made the mistake, I looked at it and thought, I'm not taking it out, no way. But now I'm kind of thinking about taking it out and redoing these sections in the colors that they're supposed to be, instead of just living with my mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, you guys. I was just knitting along, and when clue 3 came out, it said start with color 3. Nope. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It said start with color 5, and I automatically went and used my color 3. Because normally when I initially labeled my colors, I numbered them from lightest to darkest, 1 through 7. But then when I started to knit, I actually started to knit with the darkest, which was color 7, and move lightest. So it's partially my fault that I numbered them weirdly and then decided to use them differently than how I had initially numbered them. So, decisions. Maybe when I finish this one this afternoon, I'll undo the bind off and pull these back. Let's show you the right side. And pull these back, and then maybe I'll get after re-knitting them in the proper called for color sequence. I am really enjoying this knit. I will say that seven sand dollars in a row was an awful lot of sand dollars to knit in one row, and I was really quite tired of them by the time I got to the end of them. They are beautiful, and I do like the way they look, but 7 was a lot. 7 was a lot, you guys. Alright, I'm going to tuck these back into their project bag. Maybe I should show you the project bag, because I'm just using ones that my mother has made for me. Anyway, this is a project bag that my mother made for me from fabrics that I had hanging around. It has a nice pocket up front. It has a one pocket here, and these two are mesh pockets like that. So that's what I am using for my project bag. Okay, now I'm going to put all this away, and I'll be right back with the next little thing that I worked on. The next little project that I worked on over the month was the Snark-O-Meter from Casapinka. This is another mystery knit-along, just like Just Beachy is a mystery knit-along. And I've kind of lost my steam on this one a little bit, in that I'm still at clue 4, but all the rest of the clues have been released. Let's see if I was smart enough to put a progress keeper on from what I showed you guys last. Looks like I didn't do that. Oh well, I know I did show you quite a bit of it. Anyway, so shall we do a review? Recap. I messed up on the cast on. This should be seed stitch and not garter stitch, which I did. I love the little pointy eyes. Somebody said they're cat ears with eyeballs. The chevron shape was really fun. Some slip stitches that were really enjoyable. Here's another stitch that I messed up. I should have slipped 2 stitches, but as you can see, I only stitched 1. So I duplicated that error so that it would look like a pattern. And then on this section, I decided to offset the slip stitches. They were supposed to all stack up, but since I had made a mistake here, I decided to alternate them so it looked more like a brick wall than anything else. Right here. Then we have a section of lace. Each pattern repeat I did in a different color. Wonderful, right? Here we have some cross stitches that look like little cat scratches. Those were kind of difficult to do. They are not my favorite, but we managed to power through them. This is some more slip stitch patterns with the blue and the bright pink. Even more slip stitch patterns. The pink and the purple is like an imitation fisherman's rib. And then these stripes are the very, very end of clue 3. So I started clue 4, and it's a fun little bit of lace and just a touch of cabling. I think it's actually faux cabling that we don't actually, yeah, it's just knit 2 together, slip stitches to do imitation lace. And so I think I worked from about here up is what I've done since the last time I showed you this project. And I don't know, I really like Casapinka patterns. I'm having a struggle with this one, and I think it's because of the colors that I chose. They're all super bright and they're all super intense. And it just, there's no real resting, peaceful, color. So it's just kind of go, 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 crazy all the time. It really, really is a lot. It is done in my favorite, oh, I didn't tell you what I was working on for, I'll bring that up in just a second with the yarns I was using for just Beachy. For this Snarkometer, I am using Miss Bab's yarn. It is in, the purple is sparkly. It's Estrellita. It starts with an E. It has an S and an Alita in it, and it's really beautiful. This is a one-off color called Chill Pill, but she dyes purples often enough. I'm sure if you kept an eye on her website, you could find something quite similar to that. The rest of the colors that don't have the sparkle are her Yummy 2-ply, which is 100% superwash, which is one of my favorite yarns to work with. So the light blue is Go West, which was a limited time, and I think she sold all out of those. This is Sweet Pea. It's super bright pink, well, intense pink, not bright pink. It's kind of on the corally side, really quite nice. And then this is Purple Joy, and I have like 3 skeins of it. I don't know if she's dyeing it anymore. There were some in the shop the last time I looked, and I love Purple Joy so much. So I really wanted to use Purple Joy, and I kind of wanted to use the Chill Pill to get those out of my not to get this out of my stash, but I wanted the Chill Pill out of my stash because it's old deep stash, like one of the first things I ever bought. So I decided I wanted to use that and this. And those 2 alone should have been perfect, but I think going a little crazy with the blue and the pink, it's a little bit too much. And I think that's why I'm struggling with it, just because it is so in your face, and I'm struggling. So the rest of the clues have been released, 5 and 6, and so I figure once I get done with just Beachy, I'll probably focus more on this and work on getting it done. So this is Snarkometer by Casapinka. Alright, let's back up just a little bit and I'll show you the yarns that I've been using for just Beachy. And these are from Marianated Yarns. Here we go. There's her logo. This is the main color that I'm using. It is the Greige. It's my main color. And then I am using a 6 skein set of purples. There's 5 of them because the other one's over there. In a gradient, and this is the Mountain Majesty's gradient. So they're all sorts of beautiful purples all over the place. Love them. But since it called for 7, I augmented with a little amethyst for the dark purple of the thing. And this is all that I have left. So it's going to be something when I go ahead and pull these out and get them going again. So this one's an intense one and not one that I can really sit and work at work. It has to be done at home just because of the lace and the textures and the wonderfulness. So I'll show you the mindless knit that I have been working on. So my mindless knit that I've been working on is the Rad Vent Wrap. This is by Ambah O'Brien and it is perfect to use for mini skeins of all sorts and sizes. Anything that you would get in your festive holiday kits. I love that they're being called festive kits this year. It seems so much more inclusive than the more religiously toned Advent. I am a religious person, but we never celebrated Advent as it is. Is Advent celebrated in more of the orthodoxy denominations of Christianity or not? Because I know some people do celebrate Advent, but I'm not sure what it was since we never really had Advent calendars. But anyway, I digress. I am keeping this little project in this super cute project bag that I got from Miss Babs because, of course, I love Miss Babs in her boutique. They have a, let's see, is this the Mabel? There's the label in that. And what she does is she takes old quilts that are no longer serviceable of quilts and she makes them into, some of them are jackets or like pullovers, and then with the scraps she makes little project bags out of them. And so this is one of my purchases from like the beginning of the month. Well, from the end of August when I went really crazy. Remember last month I had so many skeins where we bought 15 skeins in 3 days, and let's not do that anymore because I got the credit card bill and can we just say ouch? So that was a bad idea, and we need to learn some self-control and not to buy every single thing we see because it's pretty. Because it's pretty. Okay, anyway. So this is a super simple pattern. The repeat is predictable. Once you get going on it, you know what you're doing. I made my usual chart so I cross off the rotation where I'm at. It looks fabulous. Let's actually show you the knitting. So, woo, there goes my little ball of what I'm working on. So it's all scrunched up on my 40-inch cable. So we got to be really careful here to kind of spread it out, push it around, just so you can see kind of how it's going. This the blackberry marker there is my beginning of round marker, so I'm almost finished with the rotation. But anyway, you can see how fun it is. I started in the center with a light cream. And as the pattern's gone on, have just replaced my scrap festive kit from last year with scraps from last year. It was a gradient, so I've just Russian lace joined them together as we come along, which means I can just, you know, start wherever I want. Like here's a couple of ends from the lace join. I leave them a little long until after I've blocked it. But this is what I sit and knit during football games. We are short of people up at at the university for people to work the game. Oh, hey, here's my, see the little blackberry cake marker right down there in the middle? So I have worked all of that since the last time we spoke. Anyway, it's super easy. I work on it during the football games. We've had 3 games, and all of them had like an 8:15 kickoff, and I show up to the management office at about 2, and for the first hour or 3 I tend to run around helping out wherever it's needed, setting up chairs, setting up tables, vacuuming, whatever needs to be done, I go help and do it. And then for the rest of the game, I sit in the management office and take notes on, like, if there's lost and found, I help with that. I've been helping the kid who runs the stadium rental chairs figure stuff out. I tend to triage people as they come into the door. Okay, you need earplugs, here's earplugs, wheelchairs, talk to this gal. Some things, because our head superwoman, department superwoman, she has the phone and the computer, so I'm trying to triage, and if I have the answers, I can send them on their way faster than having them to talk to our superwoman. I'm gonna cough. Let's pause. Anyway, what was I saying? Something about the department superwoman. Ah, yes, triaging requests as they come into the management office, so that our department superwoman only has to handle the true emergencies. And then we have about 3 other student ushers who help us out, work with this. One runs the text messaging system through the stadium, so if you send a text that says there's a spill in section 36, row 8, seats 5 and 6, we can send that over to the custodial crew, and they can get right over there and clean up the spill before it gets to be anything too messy, sticky, annoying. Anyway, so that's what one gal does. We monitor both channels on the walkie-talkies for things that might need usher attention, things that need security attention, just this, that, and the other. So this has really been the perfect knit that I can be knitting away, and then if somebody comes in, it's just easy to put down and help them out with what they need, and then pick it up and work at it again while I wait for the next person to come in. So this is the Rad Vent Wrap by Ambah O'Brien, and my yarns are Yummy 2-ply from Miss Babs, and it is my scraps from last year's festive kit, which was in the Snow Shadows colorway, and I'm just really enjoying it. I'm probably going to have to talk myself out of working on this in favor of doing Snarkometer, just so I can get Snark done. So that's all the fun knitting that I have been having over the course of September, because I guess it really is October now. Alright, let's shuffle around and we'll do just a little bit of stash. Thinking of stash and being not related to it at all, have you guys seen these heavenly milk chocolate pecan caramels over at Costco? These things are fantastic, you guys. They're perfectly soft. The milk chocolate is just right. They're almost as good as the caramels that my mother makes around Christmas time. Your Costco may or may not have them. They were going pretty fast when I walked by Costco. But these guys, if you can stand a little sugar in your life, right there. Totally into these things. Wonderful, yummy, delicious. They'll make you look like me. Alright, stash. Okay, so the last 2 shipments have come in from my self-declared no-buy 4th quarter, including September. So we've done really well with that. The last stash order came in because it was waiting on a re-dye for this color. This is Miss Babs, Yummy 2-ply. This is Cordovan. And it is a complimentary skein to the Roses and Champagne festive kit that I ordered for this year. The festive kit's not going to arrive until sometime in the middle of November, but my complimentary skeins did. Now, since I needed this, I also wanted to pick up a few things to bump the price up for free shipping. So in completely not sane method at all, I ordered Relentless, which is a very nice dark gray charcoaly black in a one-off. Let's see, this is also a one-off. This is Dear Reader. Really quite a nice light pink. I think this will work really well with quite a lot of the colors I have up there on the bookshelf of yarn and destruction. And then lastly, this is Lace Murex. This will work really well as a complimentary skein to the Party Dresses festival kit that I ordered also from Miss Babs. It was the release of the festival kits that started the 15 skeins in 3 days purchasing spree of doom, destruction, and my credit card going up in flames, and the declaration of no buy fourth quarter. Then, along with all that craziness, I showed you the one little project bag that was done by Mabel out of Cutter Quilts, and this is just a tiny little hand basket of the same sort of thing. This was a scrap from one of the jackets that she did into just a tiny little thing. There's the Mabel label. They're sold through Miss Babs. If you go to the Miss Babs website, under the boutique, pull down, you'll see Mabel. And it's if there's any, they clean out pretty fast once they're released. This is where these things are. And then to get me my free shipping, I ordered a big ol' hank of, what is this? This is clematis. A beautiful flower that starts with a C, whose name I can't pronounce because I do more reading than talking. Anyway, so this is in a big old chunky yarn base. It is called K2 is the yarn base. I think it's also a 100% superwash wool. This will make a really fun big old chunky, either a cowl or I might make it a hat. I have another couple of, not this color, but in a nice pink, so I think maybe doing the pink with the purple as a contrast could really mix it up and make something really, truly fun. Speaking of things that we're really into right now is Bath & Body Works. I always get them confused with Bed Bath & Beyond, just because there's too many baths in everything. Anyway, they've released their Halloween colors. That's shiny, not colors, scents for their little wallflower things. And here's the tag for one that I am totally digging, you guys. This is Ghoul Friend. And the fragrance notes in this are strawberry, peony, and a little bit of citrus. And it's fabulous. I absolutely love this. I have this going on in my craft room office, the Croffice, all the time, which is where we are. Welcome to the Croffice. Love this. Get your hands on it. I don't know if it's seasonal, but it was there one day when I happened to go wandering through, picked it up. Love it. Smells wonderful. Have it on all the time. It drives my mom nuts because my mom's not a fan of additional fragrances, but I kind of like them. I like smelly things. Okay, I like sweet smelly things, not all smelly things. Let's make that very, very clear. Right. The last couple of stash related things that I have come from, well, it's a new knit group. One of my mom has been into quilting for 100 years. Okay, maybe 40 years. She started in like the early 80s, like 1980, 81, somewhere around there. And shortly thereafter, she joined the Utah Valley Quilt Guild and met a bunch of fantastic ladies in the Utah Valley Quilt Guild, which is still going on and going strong. And these ladies formed their own little quilting bee group, and they have met pretty much every Wednesday of the month since 1980-ish. Maybe they only started in 85, but they've been going for a long time. They've known each other for 30 years. They've grown. I feel bad saying grown old with each other, but you can't exactly say they've grown up because they're hilarious and their sense of humor is just, it's fantastic. But anyway, it's a group of 10 to 15 ladies, and they all quilt, and they all meet at one of their houses every Wednesday, you know, except during the pandemic when they held off. And one of the dear ladies is immune compromised, so they've quit meeting again, kind of watching how the numbers go, how things work out, encouraging everybody to go ahead and get vaccinated. Whatever. We'll stay out of the politics of it. So the quilt group has kind of been put on pause, but there's 4 ladies in the quilt group who have really started to knit, and one of those ladies really wanted to have a knit night, but it's more of a knit day. And so I was invited to join them for knit day, and so I have, and we had our very first knit together the fourth week of no, it wasn't a whole week, the 4th Thursday of September. There we go. So that's when it's supposed to be. And our wonderful, beautiful hostess, she was cleaning out some of her yarns and encouraged us to take a couple of yarns. I should say there was 7 of us all together, 4 ladies from the original quilt group. Then there was me, who was the daughter of Mom, so I belong to one, and then 2 other daughters from our hostess. So 7 of us total. It was just such a nice little group. Wonderful conversation. The other daughters are my age, and so that was really quite nice. Anyway, so our fantastic hostess was sorting through her yarn and had put out some things that she loved, but she just wasn't sure she was going to get to. I picked up 2, well, technically 3 skeins, but really two things. The first that I picked up is this skein of Malabrigo. It's in Incentia. I can't pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. Anyway, it's their fingering weight, sock yarn, kettle dyed. Anyway, I really liked it. The blues and the greens with that pop of almost acid green up there. Thought that was really quite pretty. And then these 2 are wound up for, I think they're wound up for socks. They're like 50 gram skeins. And you can tell why I would love this. The purples, the pinks, kind of a plummy red, and that is the name of this, Just Plum. And so there were 2 of those, so I think they were meant to be socks, but she decided she just wasn't going to get to them, so I adopted them. They came home to me. There was a lot more yarn there that I didn't adopt, mostly because her favorite colors are the autumnal, rich, warm colors, ochres and warm oranges, and like the burnt umbers and a beautiful, you know, reds and really the autumnal, warm, wonderful colors. And you guys see that I knit mostly with pinks and blues and purples, a lot of purple. So they're not really my colors. So I didn't choose a lot of stuff, because what's the point in me picking up yarns that I won't ever use? So those were my last little acquisitions. Oh, and she also provided us with, you see that big thing back there? That's a suitcase, you guys. She called it a project bag. It's a suitcase. It's huge. She was just the most generous and beautiful lady of all time. I absolutely love her. So anyway, that's those wonderful things. Okay, let's do some rearranging, and we'll talk a little bit about the Under 1,000 Subs Club and life. So my Under 1,000 Subs Club picks for this year, week, month, because I've managed to keep up with coming to talk to you every month, are Sarah, Our Stitching Kingdom. She is one of the founders of the 1,000 Months Club, and she does a lot of cross stitch. I love her. She has an absolute love and enthusiasm for the things that she is stitching and for her family, and she's just absolutely lovely, and I really think that you guys should go ahead and check her out and give her a subscription. They're mostly going for over 1,000 subs. You can have access to the the community board, so you can post polls and notes and things. And I am terrible at social media, so I don't really know how those things work. But that is one that you really should go check out. Give her a sub. She's stuck in the high 600s, and that seems to be a stalling point for quite a lot of people. Sarah, Our Stitching Kingdom. And my other is going to be So Livy Dyes Yarn. She also started out with cross stitch like I did, and then she met knitting and fell in love, and she has even progressed even farther to become a yarn dyer, and I've used some of her yarns, and her colors are gorgeous, and she has fantastic ideas. I bought her upcoming Woodlands festive kit, so that should be showing up sometime in November, and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, Savannah, there better be at least one purple. One purple. Anyway, she's fun. She also does a little bit of plant talk. She has a gorgeous selection of plants. She does knitting, she does dyeing, she does plants, she does cross stitch. I really don't know how that girl fits everything into her life. So there's another one that you really should go check out. So go bring up their subs. Well, my subs are dropping at about 50 to 100 a month. Ever since I committed to doing these once a month, I've lost about 1,000 subscribers, but what can you do? I'm sorry, I've moved on from the cross stitch, but I am very grateful for all of you who have stuck around, who have come back. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. That makes it easier to find me when I do put these up once a month, or if you just want to go the easy route, hit the bell button. That way you get a notification when I put one of these out, which has been about once a month. Go add Savannah and Sarah to your subscriptions and check them out. They're really such dears. I love them. They love their families. They have such an enthusiasm for what they're working on. Sarah has a great mix of cross-stitch projects. Savannah has a great mix of knitting projects, both socks and sweaters and shawls, whereas I am a one-trick pony and we do shawls. So that's my 1,000 subs club. Work is coming along pretty well. I can hardly believe it's been 3 months since I was promoted to controller of my little department. And there is so much stuff. I don't know, you guys. I have no idea. This is a tear because I've got a little bit of dirt in my eye under my contacts. My eyes are going to be watering, but I'm going to keep on talking to you. Anyway, I forgot about one thing I wanted to talk about knitting. We'll come back to that. Anyway, yeah, work is going good. There's so much stuff that I don't know, since I have always specialized in more of the expense side of things, and now I'm dipping my toes into the revenue side of things. So while theoretically I know about revenue, sometimes the practical application of the revenue stuff is a little different. It's a lot the same, but a little different. It's kind of, you know, seeing how a horse is ridden versus actually riding a horse yourself. There's things there that you don't really know until you do it. So every day is a learning experience. Some days I'm just so overwhelmed that I hardly know which way is up. But I'm going to keep fighting for it because I love my little department. I love the people I work with. I love where I work and the university that I work for. I want to be successful so they can be successful, sort of a thing. Because we're really quite a good team. You know, we work together. We sort things out. There really isn't any politicking or you have to be tiptoe around that person or this person, so we are all kind and generous to each other, help out whenever we can, which is, why I help out at football. I'm not scheduled to be working football anymore now that I'm purely accounting and not at all tech, but I'm still there helping out as best I can. All right, let's reset, and I'm going to show you the couple of things that I forgot to show you, so just a sec. I am working on blocking things, you guys. How exciting is that? I counted it up and I have 7 Yep, 7 projects that are completely completed, ends woven in, and all they needed was to be soaked and washed and blocked, and they are ready to go. So the very first one I did, blocked out, was my Winter Lights shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West, and I've just got it folded in half here because this is a monster. A beautiful, beautiful monster. I decided to block it first because, like I said, it was my favorite thing. And it is so big, so huge, that I ran out of blocking mats. And I have 2 sets of 9 blocking mats. So I have 18 mats altogether. But this monster, I could have used like 5 more to really be able to spread it out. I know I'm missing one because Mom's adopted that for a knitting boot camp set of courses that she's taking, and every week she has to do up some swatches and then she just blocks the swatch. So she's adopted one of the blocking mats, but this one, so big, you guys, so big. It's just, oh, I am super excited that it is fall and that there is a nip in the air, and I can start to wear my shawls to work in the mornings. You know, since I don't sweater or anything. This so good, so absolutely good. Oh, it blocked out beautifully. This is Winter Light Shawl by Stephen West. I used a kit that was put together by Miss Babs in Yummy 2-ply, which we all know is my favorite. The nice dark blue is Cascara, C-A-S-C-A-R-A, Cascara. And then the lightest of pinky purples is Nieve, N-I-E-V-E. And then flowers. I don't have to spell that one out because I know how to pronounce flowers. And then the last one here is Fransquita, which I can't say or pronounce, but those were my colors. And right down here where I had to patch in the new skein because I ran out of my one skein and the second skein came in a little different color, you can't really tell. So that is complete and total win. And this one I love. I need to take it outside and put it on my silly dress form and take some glamour shots of it so that it can be declared absolutely, positively, fully finished. Alright, next up was a mystery knit along from earlier this summer. Summer, spring, probably spring. This is the mystery knit along Knights Who Say Knit. Who was it by? It was by Lyrical Design. Marianated. She has just the best sense of humor around her. I thoroughly enjoyed this knit. Her next spring mystery knit along is going to be themed around the Princess Bride, so I'm really looking forward to that one. But anyway, this is also Miss Babs' Yummy 2-ply, and I bought the kit called Hamsters and Elderberries. So you can see we've got a little brown hamster and all sorts of wonderful purples for the elderberries. Is this the side I actually started on? No, this is side 2. So this is side 2, but we knit a lovely triangle, expanded out until we got to, you know, about this point, and started knitting square. Had some lace, had some little bobble stitches. I hate these bobble stitches. I think I'm going to, the reason I hate them is, as you can kind of see, you do a slip stitch, or it's not actually a slip stitch, it's like a dip stitch. So you pull it down, you insert your needle several stitches down, grab the yarn, loop it back up, and then you kick off the colored stitch, and then let it unravel, but it'll only unravel until the spot where the dip stitch picks it up. That's okay, but it's kind of a mess, and it makes my edge stitches, they're wonky, and I don't like that. So I think either I can do a less short knit stitch to make it still bobbly, and on my way back either purl 2 together or knit 2 together to keep my stitch count the same. It's the kicking off the one stitch so that it purposefully unravels is how you keep your stitch counts the same, but I think I might do some testing and see if I can find something similar. Anyway, she called these little pebbles. These were moose choreography stuff right here. And here in the center is our grail. Kind of right there. Anyway, more moose, more baubles. I can't see. Those are coconuts, Frenchman coconuts, shrubbery, castle anthrax. I don't remember. Other fun, crazy stuff. So I just blocked this one out. And it is also a lot of fun. And I look forward to wearing this in the mornings as well. So excited. Also a great big beauty of a scarf. I need to get the dress form out, take some glamour shots, update my Ravelry pages, have that done. Now the very last one that I have completely blocked, there's another one that is wet and downstairs on the blocking mats. That's Towanda by Casapinka, so I guess I'll have to share. There's 4 ready to be blocked, including Towanda. So I've got Towanda, Unaffiliated, Botanique, and I Love Pink, Olive Pink, ready to go. And I should have all these others done by the time October rolls around, but who knows, because I am going to Arkansas for a week to see one of my best friends. So that's going to be a major road trip, and I don't know how much knitting I'm going to get done during that week. Probably not enough, but we might hit a yarn store. That'll be fun. Anyway, the last thing that I have completely blocked is the powder wrap by Casapinka, and I used a 6 skein mini variegated set from Canon Hand Dyes, and this is a 100% superwash wool. It's really quite beautiful. It has a super low twist, which makes the texture quite fun. And so you just kind of repeat these patterns of, this is a slip stitch, garter, and then another sort of slip stitch ribby thing here. Just repeats. So I have some blue, I have some purple, I have some pink, I have some more pink, and it just slowly fades out into a light creamy pink. And don't be intimidated of these little bits of lace and little bits of cable work. These are super simple cables, easy to do without a cable needle. And it's so soft, it's fluffy, it's really, really pretty. I think it actually goes with the shirt I'm wearing. So here, we'll just go ahead and, I always wrap it around my head so that I get plenty of slouch and bag. Did that turn over right? There we go. Let's be fussy. There we go. So I can wear this today. Yes. So that is the powder wrap by Casapinka, yarns by Canon Hand Dyes. So even though I do love the Miss Babs yarn, I do use other people's yarns from time to time. So that's pretty much everything for this beautiful October day. I think I'm going to go move the laundry over, roll it from the washer into the dryer, get a little bit of lunch. I've got an hour before General Conference starts up again. We'll see what the prophets and Quorum of the 12 and leaders of the church have to say in the second session. I know I mentioned that I really enjoyed the emphasis on being compassionate and serving your neighbor and being respectful to those who disagree with you. I all think these are very important issues of our day. I read something earlier about sort of a difference in perspective where a lot of people these days are worried about their rights, but not necessarily their obligations. Living in a society, there are certain obligations and responsibilities that you take on so that the society can run properly and smoothly. And I understand how it is important to have rights, like I have the right to not stop at a red light, and I have the right to not use my turn signal since I'm stuck on automobile similes right now. But for the safety of all, I have the responsibility to follow the rules of the land. Now, some of the rules of the land may be discriminatory, and those need to be fixed. And some of the best ways to get in there and get those discriminatory laws and rules and like regulations fixed is to vote and really analyze and research the people that you are voting for. And the people who you vote for, who you have the most influence in your day-to-day lives, are going to be your local representatives. Your city mayor, your city council if you have one, even a county council / mayorship if you have one of those. That's kind of the, we have a county commission is what we have here in my county. So looking at those people, looking at the people who sit on the school boards, just making sure that they are engaged in a rule of righteousness, which really sounds kind of funny coming out of my mouth, but people who are looking at how to make society work a lot better and not necessarily how to consolidate power for themselves, because I think people who want to be in power for power's sakes are very dangerous. And the people who want to help and improve society are really in it for the right reasons. So that's my soapbox today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope things are going good for you, that things are looking up, that even though we're still in sort of this uncertain end times of the pandemic that might flare up again at any time, you're thinking about your responsibilities to your fellow man as to how you can help them stay healthy and strong, and how you can stay healthy and strong as well. Remember, kindness and compassion goes a long, long way. Hate never changed anybody's minds. Love is the answer. Hugs and stitches, everybody. Bye.